You're standing there, scrolling through endless listings of AC recovery machines, wondering if you're about to waste a good chunk of cash on a unit that will sit half-used in the garage. It's a legit concern. You've probably heard stories about cheap tools that break the first time you need them, or expensive rigs that promise professional-grade performance but end up being overkill for a DIYer's weekly service. So before you click Add to Cart, you want to know, does this particular model actually fit the kind of work you do, and will it save you time and money instead of becoming a dusty shelf ornament? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent the last couple of weeks pulling apart a few different recovery setups, watching a handful of how-to videos, and reading the limited buyer commentary that exists for the Robinair 34788NI Premier R134a Refrigerant RRR machine. What follows is a straight-to-the-point rundown of how it behaves in the real world, who will get the most bang for their buck, and where the trade-offs hide. First off, let's talk about what this machine is built to do. It's marketed as a fully automatic refrigerant recovery, recycling and refill system that can also handle high-voltage electric vehicle AC loops. The fully automatic claim isn't just marketing fluff. The unit runs through a program cycle that pulls the refrigerant from the system, separates the oil, and either stores the gas for later reuse or vents it safely, all without you having to constantly monitor gauges. That level of automation is a real time saver if you're pulling R134a from multiple residential split units in a day. Instead of manually opening valves, watching a manifold gauge, and timing each step, you set the machine, press start, and let it do the heavy lifting. Now, picture a typical scenario. You're a small shop tech who services home air conditioners and a few light commercial rooftop units. You get a call that a 3-ton split system has lost refrigerant and needs a recharge. In the past, you'd have to attach a recovery cylinder, manually evacuate the line, and then measure the exact amount of gas you needed to add, a process that could take 3,045 minutes per unit, especially if you're juggling oil recovery too. With the Robinair 34788NI, you hook the service hoses, select the recover program, and the machine automatically drains the refrigerant, separates the oil, and stores the cleaned gas in its internal tank. When you're ready to refill, you flip to the refill mode and the system meters the correct amount back into the system, even accounting for the oil that was removed. The result is a cut-down turnaround time, typically under 20 minutes for a standard residential unit, and you walk away with a precise charge instead of a guess. If you're wondering about the electric vehicle-capable angle, that's where the machine really shows its future-proofing. New EVs use high-voltage AC compressors that run on R134a or newer blends, and they demand a recovery unit that can handle the higher pressure ranges without blowing a fuse. The 34788NI's internal compressor and pump are sized to meet those specs, so you won't need a separate rig if you decide to expand into EV HVAC service. For a traditional HVAC tech, that's a nice bonus, but if your work will stay strictly in residential split systems, you might not tap that capability often. One practical strength that often gets lost in the spec sheets is the programmable vacuum function. The machine defaults to a 15-minute vacuum, which is enough to pull moisture out of most residential lines, but you can dial it up for larger commercial loops that need a deeper vacuum to meet EPA standards. In practice, that means you can set a single program that handles both a quick home unit service and a more demanding commercial job without reconfiguring hardware each time. The automatic oil drain is another time-saver. Oil builds up in the recovery cylinder during the pull, and manually draining it can be messy. The Robinair's internal oil separator routes that oil to a separate reservoir, so you end up with a cleaner refrigerant tank ready for reuse. On the flip side, the machine isn't without quirks. The internal tank capacity caps at about 6 pounds of R134a, which is perfect for 1-ton residential units but can feel limiting if you're servicing a larger commercial site with multiple high-capacity loops. You'll either need to pause between jobs to empty the tank or keep an extra portable recovery cylinder on hand, which adds to the overall equipment cost. The unit also leans on a fairly complex electronic control board. In the field, that translates to a need for occasional firmware updates and, in rare cases, a reset if the machine throws a generic error code. For a hobbyist who wants a plug-and-play experience, that extra layer of tech might be a bit intimidating. Who should seriously consider buying this? If you're a freelance HVAC technician who regularly handles residential and light commercial or 134a systems, and you're looking to eliminate the manual gauge dance that eats up your schedule, this machine is a solid investment. Its automation reduces the